Hey there guys, welcome back to AFC Game by Game. I hope you're all doing really well. Today I want to talk about a player that 6 years ago I just absolutely adored, and I never thought he'd be in the position that he currently is. It is of course Jack Wilshere, coming off the back of a loan move to Bournemouth last season, which I think we could safely say a lot of fans had mixed emotions about. Didn't play to maybe the best of his ability in that Bournemouth team. I do think that Eddie Howe, I've got to say first and foremost, the way that he's managed Jack Wilshere, giving him those special training sessions, playing him in special periods in the Bournemouth side, I think he was brilliantly managed by Eddie Howe, and the fact that he kind of remained injury free until the back end of the season when he got that impact injury, which could have happened to any player. Unfortunately, it happened to Jack in this instance. I think Bournemouth have done a really good job in maintaining his fitness. And yeah, I mean, how do we look at that move? Do we look at it as a success? Do we look at it as unsuccessful? I'm not too sure. But Jack Wilshere is a player that is now back at London Colney, and the question remains: is he going to feature in Arsene Wenger's plans this coming season? We're seeing bids of about 6-9 million being thrown about for Jack Wilshere, which for me is absolutely ludicrous. A player that 6 years ago I thought was going to captain the Arsenal team. I thought he was the next Tony Adams, maybe the next Ray Parlour. A player that was going to captain the England national side, and at 25 years of age has come nowhere near that in recent years. It's a real shame. Whenever he's played for England, he's looked really good. Whenever he's played for Arsenal, he's always played with his heart on his sleeve. A player that I don't think has, you know, he's had a few bad games here and there, but has always given it 100%. The closest thing we're going to get to a modern day Tony Adams. And is that enough reason to keep Jack Wilshere? No, certainly not. I don't want to discredit Jack Wilshere by saying that he should be a mascot for this club. I wouldn't want us to be paying 100+ grand a week to a player that is just going to be a mascot for Arsenal. That would be ludicrous. But he is a player that is exceptionally talented. It's a shame that he's got these horrific injuries which seem to blight his career season upon season. Did he do enough at Bournemouth to impress? Did he do enough to get into this Arsenal team? I'm not too sure, but then again, I think that when he's playing with the likes of Xhaka, Ramsey, Mesut Ozil, I think he becomes a different player. Let's not forget that whenever he has played before that loan move to Bournemouth, he would have been arguably one of the first names on the team sheet if he had remained injury-free, and you can't help but wonder where he'd be if we hadn't burned him out in that first season. As a 19-year-old, we pushed him way beyond his limits, and I just want to see that player that took over Barcelona in that game back in 2011, a player I absolutely adore. And for me, to have a player that is so connected with the fans, I mean, we've all seen what he's done after the FA Cup final victories, a player that can offer so much to the fan base, and I want to see playing week upon week. Now, I think that the fan base, a section of the fan base has turned on Jack Wilshere, not in a particularly negative way, but in the sense they want to see him out of the club, and I think that they're completely entitled to be thinking that way. He's got a massive wage bill, he's seemingly always injured, and does he feature in his current team with Xhaka and Ramsey occupying the midfield? Will he even fit into this current new formation that we've got? I mean, it all remains to be seen, and those are all valid reasons why he could leave the club. But for me, in Aaron Ramsey and Jack Wilshere, we've got two very technical and very able players in that midfield that can play alongside someone such as Francis Coquelin and Granit Xhaka, and Jack Wilshere is one of the best options that we've got in that midfield team. And to suggest that he's not going to play this coming season is beyond ludicrous. The chances that he's got with the Europa League, the FA Cup, the League Cup, Premier League games as well, he is going to, if he remains injury free, he could definitely play well above 30 games. The chances are there for him, it's just a case of him taking them. And that move to Bournemouth that he prompted, I think was a poor choice in his career. I think he would have got a lot of games last season. You've only got to look at the likes of Aaron Ramsey, Mesut Ozil getting injured last campaign. He definitely would have got, Jack Wilshere definitely would have got chances in the Arsenal team last time round, and to move to Bournemouth just when he didn't get into the England team was a very irrational decision by Jack Wilshere. And given that we weren't overly dependent on him at the time, Arsene Wenger sanctioned that move, and you know, he got his wish. But will he look back on that move as a successful one? In terms of his fitness, yeah, he probably will. As I say, Eddie Howe's built up his fitness, he's done a fantastic job there, but in terms of him getting chances in the England team, I can't really think of Jack Wilshere having a standout appearance in an England shirt since that move to Bournemouth. So for me, it's vital that Jack Wilshere stays on the club. If we're being offered fees of 6-9 million, I think it's pointless that we accept a fee like that. We're better off keeping this guy at the club, a player that we've invested so much time in, that is on a level with the fans. We're much better keeping him for another season, and he's only got 1 year left on his contract. So the sensible thing to do would be, just so we don't lose him for any money next summer, get him to sign a 1 or 2 year contract extension, see how his fitness plays out, and if things haven't worked by this time next year, then we give up on what will be a 26-year-old Jack Wilshere. So it's a shame that the way things have worked out, but for me, this is last chance saloon for Jack Wilshere. I don't say that in a negative negative way to him. I know that he can't be helping these injuries. It's down to mainly his playing style, and you know, it's just his body now at this point. Maybe his body's not capable of playing 38 games a season, playing in excess of 50 games that you have to play with the Europa League, the Premier League, the FA Cup, the League Cup. He's not got the physicality to do that, but there is a part of him to play in this Arsenal team, and with the options that we've got in midfield, alternating with Aaron Ramsey, Mohamed Elneny, Francis Coquelin, for me, Jack Wilshere can be a very good option for Arsenal this season in the competitions that we've got, and he will have a big part to play. Is there still that opportunity for him to be Arsenal captain, Mr. Arsenal, as I'd like to see him be? I'm not too sure. I don't want to rule it out just yet. At 25, I mean, he's still a young man. He's still got the best years, I would hope, ahead of him. And as I say, let's get him signed on to another 1 or 2 years, and hopefully we can see the best of Jack Wilshere next season in the Europa League, in the odd Premier League game, and hopefully he'll get as much playing time as possible. I say the odd Premier League game, if he plays well in the Europa League, if he builds up some momentum, there's no reason why he can't get the nod ahead of someone like Aaron Ramsey. That's the kind of player Jack Wilshere is. I think you'll see a change in him playing with the likes of Mesut Ozil, Alexis Sanchez. Hopefully Lacazette will see a different Jack Wilshere, the one that we've been used to seeing in an Arsenal shirt. And yeah, that's just my brief thoughts on Jack Wilshere at Arsenal. Please get your thoughts in the comments box below. Let me know if you disagree or agree with me on this one. Drop a like on the video if you have enjoyed it. And as always, subscribe to AFC Game by Game, and I will speak to you very, very soon.